Now, good.
All right, we're good.
All right. Well, thank you for being here, and I'm pleased to be joined by my Senate Republican colleagues as we have unanimously come together on an issue that's important to the people of Illinois in terms of fairness. A Massachusetts governor once wrote a map, or signed a map, whose name was Jerry, and now we have the term gerrymandering, which goes back to 1812. Gerrymandering is when political parties create maps for their own political interests rather than the constituents and the voters of their district. Unfortunately, more than 200 years later, we in Illinois still face the struggle of political parties drawing districts for their own personal interest as opposed to the interest of those people in their district. The ultimate authority in Illinois is the party in power, and it's time to change that system. We stand here united to join our Democratic colleague, Senator Morrison, and her colleagues to support Senate Joint Resolution, Constitutional Amendment Number 4, which takes the politicians out of drawing their own destinies and their own maps. It's time that Illinois move forward and put the constituents and the people's interest ahead of the politicians' interest. Senator Morrison's amendment does just that. It creates a commission that is not made up of legislators and one that works to the interest of fairness to the people of Illinois. And I'm pleased to be joined by all my Senate Republican colleagues in joining her. I'd like to ask Senator Rauner to come forward and say a few remarks.
Good morning or good afternoon. Thank you, Leader Brady. We do stand here in support of Senator Morrison's Senate Joint Resolution to create an independent commission that draws the map. This plan would allow voters to choose to create an independent redistricting committee, taking political parties out of the process. Instead of drawing districts behind locked doors, this new system would increase transparency, giving the public a better understanding of how their districts are being redrawn and why. It would also give the public a chance to participate in the process and go weigh in on the map hearings throughout the state. It's fair and it's more bipartisan. It's a way of redrawing districts that takes the politicians out of the process. And then I'll defer back to Leader Brady for any questions.
Leader.
Thank you, Senator Rauner. Before I go to questions, let me just say, we also, in addition to the hearing process, we want to give the people of Illinois a chance to weigh in. So we are urging our constituents to visit senategop.org or any of our legislators' websites to sign a petition calling on the Illinois General Assembly to place this constitutional amendment on the ballot in a timely fashion so that we can have fair maps in 2022.
Leader, there have been other attempts, citizen ballot initiative, I think more than 500,000 signatures that was shot down by the courts. This has been proposed before in the past. What makes this year different?
Well, this year is different in that we are doing this through the legislative process, and we Republicans are doing it in a bipartisan way by joining Senator Morrison's constitutional amendment that has, I believe, almost 10 other Senate Democrat sponsors. We believe this is the fair way to do it, and we want it to be a bipartisan solution, and we are pleased to join Senator Morrison in that effort to place an amendment to the Constitution on the ballot through the legislative process.
And are you confident that the House will pick this up? Because apparently you've got Speaker Madigan, who has lawyers he's associated with, having challenged similar efforts in courts.
Yeah, I can't see a reason Speaker Madigan wouldn't. I think the people of Illinois will speak out. They are tired of gerrymandering their districts, and it's time to change the way we do things. People of Illinois do not want politicians drawing districts for their own benefit. They want someone drawing districts for the benefit of the people of Illinois.
Does Senator Morrison know you're doing this today?
She has in the past reached out. She knows that some of us, I think an entire caucus at one point in time, also embraced a constitutional amendment she sponsored last session. And we will be filing 19 slips today joining her effort.
We talked to Senate President Cullerton about this, and if so, how has he received your?
I have not had a chance to talk to President Cullerton.
And with respect, the entire Senate GOP caucus can fit in the blue room here. What leverage do you have to get this across the line?
Again, the leverage we have is the people. The people of Illinois are tired of gerrymandered maps. Senator Morrison understands it as well as many of her colleagues. Collectively, we need to pass this, send it over to the House, and hopefully let Leader Durkin and Speaker Madigan do the same thing.
One glaring issue with this proposal is that it writes in political affiliations for members of the Supreme Court. Right now, there's nothing in the Constitution that says a Supreme Court justice must have a political affiliation. I mean, sure, judges run on partisan elections, but that's not in the Constitution. Do you find this to be a problem?
No.
Why?
We believe there are political affiliations with the highest ranking member of the party that is not the Supreme Court Chief Justice, and there's political affiliations with the Chief Justice.
Sorry, who are you referring to there? Which member of the court you?
The amendment, I believe, I'll defer to Chapin Rose if I'm not right, calls for the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court to select the members for their party, and the highest ranking justice of the Supreme Court from the other party to select the members.
And those are partisan ballots when you're elected.
Okay, but you go.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Those are partisan ballots when you're elected for justice, but quite frankly, if that's the only criticism, come on. I mean, this is the worst system in the country that we currently have, so anything's better.
How many districts in this past election, do you know, were run without any opposition?
Don't know.
And probably because, I mean, in so many cases, it was viewed as being impossible to be elected if you're a member of the other party.
I don't know, but I think you speak to a weakness in the current system. We need more competitive districts, and we'll find more competitive districts when we look at communities of interest and compactness in that way.
Thank you, everybody.
You speak to another benefit. Thanks.